Live and across the ages, you're listening to the 2023 edition of the Cavern Today, live from Mysterium. And with us this month, we have with us...
Dalken, Starbyne.
And...
Esto.
Maurus.
And we are so thrilled to be here today. It's so exciting. We've worked long and hard. This has taken about a year of planning, and we even got shirts, which is cool. So anyway.
See him in the cavern? You see him right here.
Yep, that's it. So what's up, Maurus?
It took us... We really went through some trials and tribulations just to get here, didn't we?
Oh.
Wow, we made it.
We did.
We made it eventually, yeah.
This is our lap.
Man, it took some doing. Dalken, I know you in particular have some stories.
Yeah, so show of hands, who here had issues with their flight getting on in here? Yeah, sounds about right. Same. So I had my flight all set up for Thursday. I was like, I'm going to get to Spokane at noon on Thursday so I can pick up my badge early, chill a little bit before the first day of the con, that whole thing. At 10 p.m. on Wednesday, I got an email from Delta saying, "Oh, your flight's been pushed back 2.5 hours."
What?
So,
why?
weather, I guess. It's a like mesocyclone thing. But yeah, so I had to reschedule my flight. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it through the app, because they're like, oh, go through the app. You can see all the flights that all of our representatives can see for you, that whole thing. Sounds super convenient, right? So I go in, I go do it, and I find another flight on Thursday. And then I punch it in, I hit confirm. I'm like, okay, I'll still get in Spokane at noon. Hit confirm, and everything's on Friday. So I
Doesn't help.
That does not help.
not very much. So spend the whole rigmarole getting on the phone with Delta, and my roommate was meanwhile poking them on Twitter, which of course got a hold of them much faster than
That's how you gotta do
on the phone, because naturally. Mm-hmm. So eventually I get all of that rescheduled and everything. Wind up flying out from an airport more than an hour farther away than the one I was originally planning to fly out from.
Gee.
Went from one layover to two. And went from a roughly 7-hour trip to a roughly 14-hour trip.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Oh.
So I got here yesterday a little after 6 p.m. And immediately started having a great time. So
That's right.
That's what it's all about, is getting here.
Yes.
I mean, I've been waiting 20 years to get here. I mean, the first time I picked up Myst, it was 2003, all right? Now, I'm late to the game, so sorry. I'm late. But it was one of those things where, every year Mysterium would go by and I'd be like, oh, I want to go so bad. And then finally I get here and I go down and I'm going to pick up my honorary bottle of Pepsi, because Pepsi rules. Anyway, because we love her, we miss her. And by the way, speaking of missing people, Hannah Cat, Katie, we miss you and we love you. Anyway, so I get down there and there is no Pepsi. I'm like, okay, this is not cool. Janet would be like, nope, gonna pedal my wheelchair right out of here.
It's a Coca-Cola exclusive establishment.
It is. I was like, what? No Pepsi? No. When we did the Montreal Mysterium meet up into 2004, I had a Pepsi bottle in my backpack. And so now it's just like, oh man. So anyway, that was my whole, that was my one big problem. Of all things, I had a direct flight, no delays. I'm sorry, Dalken. Everything just went so smooth.
yeah,
Don't worry.
I'm glad it went smooth for somebody.
Well, but you're our stunt Dalken, so
Yes.
you're the stunt wolf bard, and you did
I have
it.
the bandages to prove it.
Yes, you do. But anyway, what happened to you,
I mean, I
Esto?
guess comparatively, my flight was not a problem. It definitely flew. And I am definitely here now, but it did take a lot longer. I swear, I left home probably about, noon, and then I got here at midnight. So I don't even know what time is anymore. I got here, I was like, what is it? Is it noon? Is it 3 o'clock in the morning? I'm going to go to bed. And then I woke up and it was 4 o'clock. I was like, what is going on? But end of the day, we made it.
Yay! Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, Maurus, tell us all about what happened to you.
Yeah, well, mine went relatively okay, but all I'm going to say is Comfort Plus is a lie. Comfort Plus is just first class legroom, but it's still just as this as the actual coaches. So I'm on back-to-back flights, just like I got there for 4 a.m. to try to get here because I want to get here at a reasonable time. So I'm trying to sleep, but I'm just sort of like trying to squeeze in, not like take up the person next to me's space, but like. Awful. I still my back still hurts for trying to contort myself. And the next flight I got upgraded to Comfort Plus only to find it was just the exact same thing. There's no comfort, folks. It's a lie. But yeah, it's true. We have been, logistics-wise, trying to plan this for the better part of a year and trying to make the wheels turn for that, Not everybody could make it out. Shout out to all the other members of TCT back home watching. Couldn't make it out. Bert, I know you mentioned you would FOMO.
Janathus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Mohawk, who's on his own vacation right now, so we wish him the best.
And Nareem is just keep swimming, just keep swimming. He
As
lives in
always,
Australia,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
And so, yes, Nareem, we miss you.
But yeah, we are the Cavern Today. For those who don't know, who might not heard about us, we're one of the longest running Myst fan podcasts. Started out back in the days of Until Uru. Basically, the idea was, what if there was an NPR for the Cavern? And sort of we'd expanded out a lot more. Since then, we do really just sort of all sorts of stuff, and we are thrilled to be here today.
Definitely,
Yeah.
variety
Yeah.
show is one of our main strengths.
Yes, and by the way, I know we've had a couple interesting episodes back to back because we did this live thing. Skits are coming back. Don't worry, folks. We'll
Yes, the skits are
we'll bring
definitely
back
coming
the
back.
skits. Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, but it's, and I forgot to say hi to somebody. Mrs. Alhan and Alhan, we love you. And so, yes, Mrs. Alhan, she always sends us to say hello when we get on the air. So, anyway, what's next on our bullet point list?
Well, it's not the first time that Mysterium has, TCT has been at a Mysterium in Spokane. Way back in the day of 2006. Little baby Dalken was there.
yes.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about this tall.
No, well, okay, hang on just a second. How old were you when you started on TCT?
I was 15.
You were 15.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the proof in the pudding that the Myst universe is an all-inclusive, all-ages thing. And so, okay, Dalken, so tell us about 2006.
Oh gosh, 2006 was wild. So, technically the second convention I ever went to, but it was my first time attending a convention by myself. So I didn't know how any of that worked. I didn't know how to talk to anybody. So the only thing I knew was everybody was going to Cyan on Sunday, I think it was. So I knew the address, I knew the day, I knew the time. So I showed up and there's where everybody was. I missed everything else that weekend. Didn't matter. It was still great. But so I show up, everybody's there, and looking around for people. So the thing about the Cavern Today is we like to talk. Go figure.
No, we don't have a segment called TCT Talk. No, no. It's
So-
it's a thing. Like Plushy Borrow is a thing. Hands for Plushy Borrow. Let's show them who we need Plushy Borrow
Plushy
in the
Borrow,
world.
Plushy
Anyway,
Borrow, make it happen.
yes, yes.
Whoever's out there.
Yes, Doobs, we're looking at you. Doobie Doobie Doobs. I loved your panel. Okay, anyway. So go ahead, Dalken, sorry.
Oh, good. So naturally, the way we all recognize each other was by voice, because we spend all day, some days, just talking on Skype about podcast stuff or skits or
Skype.
whatever.
Skype.
Yeah,
Danitos.
Skype back in the ye olden days.
Wasn't TeamSpeak?
And so it was me and Supergram and Moog and
Supergram.
Cyan and Ruby and Dragmyth.
Dragmyth. Yes, he's watching the stream right now.
Yeah. Hi, Dragmyth.
Hi, Dragmyth. We love you. Yeah.
Let's see. Wolfgang was there, I believe.
I think Wolfgang's still mailing himself here in a box.
Oh, dang.
That's
Wolfgang.
a deep cut.
Yes.
You need to spring for the next day delivery.
Yes, get the
My guy.
ticket, man. Anyway, yes.
So we get there, and of course, I also run into my very good friend, Vid. And we're running around Cyan. This is back in when everything was far less organized than this convention is now, if you can believe that. Because, logistics are complicated.
Yes.
Thank you, by the way, for making this happen. You guys worked so hard. Please
Yes.
give a round of applause for the Mysterium staff.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mysterium staff. We love you. Thank you.
So we're running around, and so Vin and I are like, there's that elevator.
You actually went in the elevator?
We might have gone in the elevator.
There's rules. Even I saw that on the stream. Don't touch the elevator.
So there was a sign, and it was a very nice sign, okay? And the sign said, please don't use the elevator,
Okay.
because, conserving power and stuff. So, if you absolutely need to use it, sure. But, otherwise just use the stairs. It's a 2-story building. You can use stairs. But we're like, we'll just poke in the elevator. We won't use the elevator. We're just going to investigate the elevator.
They don't call us explorers for nothing.
Right, exactly,
All right. Must explore.
So we go in, and we see the panel, and it's, it's got the numbers on it. It's got 1, it's got 2, Dunny numeral 1, Dunny numeral 2, Dunny numeral 3, da-da-da-da-da-da. So Vin and I, we kind of look at each other. We're like, those are buttons. We can't just stand here and not press those buttons. We're not going to use the elevator. We're just going to poke the not obviously 1 and 2 floor buttons. So poke one. It lights up for a second. Turns off. Nothing happened. Fine. Whatever. So poke another one. Lights up for a second. Nothing happens. It's whatever. We're like, Well, clearly this elevator goes down to the secret basement under Cyan, where all the real
True facts.
Dunny stuff is. So we poke another button, and the elevator starts moving. And we're like, oh no. This is either really good or really bad. So the doors close, and the elevator goes down. And it stops on the first floor and opens up. Like, oh, okay, well, that was anticlimactic. And then we step out, and I don't remember if it was Grey Dragon or who it was, but somebody employed at Cyan happens to see us walking out of the elevator that just dinged to announce our arrival.
Oh, God.
So they kind of just gave us a slap on the wrist, but the moral of the story is Cyan is really nice. Please, if they ask you not to do something, don't do it. Don't be like me.
Don't listen. I know this is a perfect metaphor for the experience of playing a Myst game. Oh, what does this button do? Oh, does this button do? Oh, no! I know that's a perfect metaphor, but don't
There's
touch
no
the
reset button.
Don't touch, okay? Be polite when you visit Cyan tomorrow.
This is our stunt Dalken. So he does our
Does his own
dangerous
stunts.
work.
Yeah, I did a stunt earlier today on the way to lunch.
Oh,
So-
that's right.
That's your
Yeah.
Superman impersonation, wasn't it?
Something like that,
Okay.
yeah. We're crossing the street, which, is crossing the street. That shouldn't be too hard, right? A friend of mine is a little bit ahead of the group. So they, just to be cheeky, they're like, I'm going to run ahead and wait on the other side of the crosswalk for everybody. And so I'm like, I can be cheeky too. And so I break out in a full-on sprint. I'm like, I'm going to get there before the light changes. Exactly halfway through the intersection, I just face plant, Peter Griffin style, just straight in the pavement, full on. Everybody thought it was hilarious, because it was.
I was there. I can attest. I thought, my dumb brain, for a split second, was like, "Wow, he's really committing to this bit. This is funny." And then I was like, "Oh no, he's not joking."
Yeah. So I'm fine. I didn't break anything or anything. I got a few scrapes, whatever. But battle scars.
The trials and tribulations of coming to Mysterium.
Yes.
You know what? We'll go through a lot.
The important thing is that the injury didn't happen on the convention grounds.
That's right.
You know, that's the important thing.
So you remember I mentioned that I was about like this tall at Mysterium 2006.
Yes.
So the thing about Rand is he's tall. No, he's taller than that. No, still taller than that. Okay, now you're about right. Okay, so
Yes.
I was about this tall. Rand's about, So getting to meet Rand for the first time, the height disparity was just a little bit. It was really cool though. Rand is like the nicest guy on the planet. We still need to get him on for a talk
We'll get him on
sometime.
at
Yes,
some
we
point.
do.
TCT talk at some point. Yeah.
Yes, Rand, if you're listening, we are officially inviting you to join us on TCT Talk. Don't worry, just be
It'll be
yourself.
fun.
And it's fun. We're not like some crazy fans. I mean, we're still taking bets on whether I'm going to scream, faint, or cry when I meet Rand. So, like I said, 20 years. Huh? All three.
That's what I was
Yeah, all
saying.
three.
Just
It's
get a
it's going to be.
checkbox and like mark which ones
Odds
apply.
on all three, right?
Yeah, it's literally like the girls from the 60s. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like meeting the Beatles back in the 60s. You know, and I brought my Myst reader, and I actually brought a cone hat for tomorrow. So if you see somebody with a really tall cone hat going on, that would be me. So that way Rawa's mom can see me. Dawa, she's awesome. So she's my Facebook friend. So she's like, you have to, make sure I can see you. I'm like, I have an answer. And it's a cone hat that's really tall and very, very orange.
I've
so,
seen
yes.
it. It is miraculous. It's beautiful.
It's called commitment.
Absolutely.
If you're going to explore, if you're going to be from Uru, if you're going to be from Cavern, then wear it proudly, wear it loudly. That's
Absolutely.
exactly it.
Look, we're already playing a 20-year-old game here. We might as well go all out with our fandom, right? I mean, why hide it? Yeah. Why be subtle?
That's exactly it.
So for some of our longtime listeners, I just want to quickly interject and say you might have expected us to take some time today to talk about Firmament, since that's the last thing we talked about was being excited for it to come out. Thing is, we're gonna need a whole podcast to talk about Firmament because there's a lot to dig into.
Well,
there.
and it's only been a month.
And
Like,
it's only
how
been
many
a month.
people have
Yeah,
actually
what's
finished
the-
it?
Not
I
done yet.
haven't.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations
wanted to,
on
but-
spoilers for a new game.
Yes.
So for our fans, that discussion will be coming soon. But today, I think we're just going to be focusing on Mysterium itself, which has just been a blast so far.
It's been pretty incredible.
It's just been an absolute blast so far.
Claire
Yeah,
Hummel was here. She's my favorite all-time artist. And, I love Tink because he's Tink. And we have some great artists in the community. But when I saw See You on the Other Side, I was like, oh, forget it. I want to do that. So, yeah, we've seen some amazing things. And Doobie Doobie Doobs is over there. Get me that emote. I want my emote. I do. I want my emote. And Philip, of course, is here. And so, yeah, I hugged his neck and he's like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Sherry from the Cavern Today. So, yeah, it was a thing. So what else do we have on the bullet points?
Well, that's it. Our next one is talking about what are some of the most interesting experiences we've had with Mysterium so far. And all that counts, I think. Really what's been fascinating is I've known a lot of you for the better part of, a decade or 15 years or so, but I've never met any one of you until today in the flesh. Hi. Yeah, it's wild.
It really is something being able to finally put a face with a name, right? You log into Igura, you see all these names. It's like, oh, okay, I remember that, and then you're like, wait a minute. So it's not where my UI usually is when I'm looking for someone's name.
Yeah, well, it's really funny because I came back in 2009. I don't remember getting sick.
The flu.
Sorry.
That was
It was
Fluru, right?
Fluru.
Yeah. Oh no.
But recognized in 06, recognized a lot of people, not just people from the Cavern Today, like Thend and honestly, the list is huge. I'd be remiss to try to recite the whole thing because I inevitably forget people. But so saw a few returning faces and some faces that I recognized but didn't see in 06 in 09. And then on the way here, I bumped into M13 and a few other people at the airport on my connecting airport in Salt Lake. for waiting for my flight into Spokane. So it's like, it's unlike going to other conventions because it's a little bit more like going to a family reunion. You bump into everybody, you meet everybody, and then it's like you come back, next year, a few years later, 10 years later, whatever, and you're still bumping into people that you know and recognize and meeting a few new faces and making new friends. And I mean, that's what Mysterium is all about, really, isn't it?
It's really.
Oh yeah. I mean, I actually, I have a long history with Katie, and Katie and I have. First time I hugged Katie was at the Montreal Mini Mysterium meet in 2004, and then it was over at Comic-Con a few years later. This is supposed to be the third time I was supposed to be able to hug Katie, and of course, she gets me on Discord. Guess what? And I'm like, no, anything but that. So anyway, I'm definitely missing Katie today.
We're thinking about you, Katie.
Yes, we're thinking about you, Katie. But it's one of those things, it's like seeing everybody that you know from Cavern by name. It's like suddenly like my friend T.S. Kimball over there, and he is absolutely awesome. I've seen him in Cavern since, 2004? Like, we were there when the lights went out, man. Sorry, we're old. It's like, you go into Cavern these days, and you're just like, oh, yeah, you were there when the lights went out. And they're like, you old. And I'm like, no, I'm really not. I started playing when I was 33. I'm only 51 now. It's only been 20 years.
That's so weird to think about because I'm 33 now.
I know, right? You see? It's eternal.
It really is.
We're both June
it's everything.
birthdays,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. It's the twins.
Yeah, we both just turned 33, yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
And I know, right?
Wild.
I know. It's one of those things that, I'm looking at down the barrel at 52, and that's the same age as when our friend left us. And so, and there goes my phone. It's probably my sister because she did the exact same thing at my wedding. So, excuse me. Oh, yeah. That's got to be my sister. Hold that.
Hold it.
Nope, it wasn't. Thank goodness. Sorry, it was one of those things. I was at the altar doing my vows, and all of a sudden my phone rang. Everybody just looked at me. Oh yes, that really happened to me. So for this to happen right now, it's on brand. I'm on brand because I have an adverse relationship with gravity, so this is just perfect. It's like this is why Rand made Relto books, so that way if you fall on your face, you might just get a panic link on the way down. Sorry, it didn't happen to you.
You know what?
Gravity happens.
I think I'm okay with that.
Right on. Oh no. Anyway, so what else
I don't
is
need
on
to
our
fall
list?
down any more than I already do.
It's okay, man. Yeah, you weren't at UNLV the day that a curb got me. Yes, that's right. Yes, I got a curb, and then in World of Warcraft, you know what happened? A cliff. Because I'm a druid. I was like, I'm going to be really cool. I'm going to run off the cliff. And then I missed hitting the button, and then I face planted it, and it said, would you like to resurrect now? And I'm like, after I recover from the embarrassment. So
You can resurrect your character, but you can't resurrect your ego.
yeah, exactly. It was it's down at the bottom of in the lake in Agura somewhere. It's eating the orange algae. So anyway, what else is on our list?
Well, as far as, just getting back to Mysterium itself and
Yes.
what's been so far, I have been completely blown away by the craftsmanship of y'all, all the stuff that you got here. This cone
It's
alone,
insane.
look at this. I love that. Like a very well reproduced DRC logo on this, I might add.
Because it's real.
But you go to an event like this, and you love the creativity in a community like this so much. You guys are a bunch of creative, bright people, and that's why we love you.
I can't believe they managed to capture every single quab on an island.
The quabs, the keys that were 3D printed.
Myst Island.
The Lego Myst Island.
Okay, the logo Myst Island, the one question I have is, how did it get here?
How did it get
Did you link it in? Carried it in through the doors.
But from where?
From where? Yes, but where did... I have no idea. We want to know. These are things.
Alternative
These are
linking
questions.
strategies.
Oh, man. Elbows, knees,
That's an in-joke for some of our older listeners.
face.
Those of you tuning in, I'm sure there'll be pictures of this Lego Myst Island up at some
Yes.
point. It's wild.
Heck,
Yeah.
I got a
It's
few
wild.
pictures. We could
I'm
put
so
them up on the
impressed.
site.
Yeah,
well. We will have photos.
We have a part of the site from when, in addition to Mysterium, there was also the Cyan pizza party from 2006. We have some video and pictures of that on the site as well from way back in the day.
Speaking of cool stuff that people here have made, this was made for me by a friend, Tex, who is back there.
Shouts out.
Well done.
And yeah, it is the coolest thing ever, so thank you very much. And I don't know, I think that this is just like indicative of the amazing talent of all the people that come here. I remember in 06, somebody made a remote control cone.
I have a photo of that.
Yeah. I mean, heck, I made it was a really bad compared to some of the other stuff that people make, but I made a homemade Relto book to bring with me to 06. Printed out some paper, wrapped a book that I bought up in it, tied a string to it to tie it to my hip and everything. Like, the amount of creativity, like, that's just the sheer amount of creativity that's in this community. Is it inspires other people to be creative.
Yes, most definitely.
That's right, yeah. And, you know, having the kind of guests on that we do often has a feedback loop, too. Like, having Dubes on last year at our big return podcast after having been on
Yes.
hiatus for a while, that got me going, I want to contribute a little bit to Open Uru stuff, so I did. I joined the Discord, started talking to a bunch of y'all, and I love the creativity that you guys are doing every day. It's so-
incredible.
I love it. It's like totally reinvigorated my sense of creativity in a way, you know? So yeah, I love all you guys. I love this community. We're so happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things we kicked it around. It's like, what if we did a live show? And they're like, are you kidding? I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. Let's go to Mysterium and do a live show. And they were like, okay, we're going to Mysterium and doing a live show. So
Here we are.
They're gonna
Yep.
go to Cyan
It was-
headquarters. Feels right.
Now or never,
Yes.
right?
It was definitely just that easy, and there was not a whole lot of trouble going into organizing the whole thing. Absolutely.
That's right. That's exactly correct. Yeah.
that is absolutely true.
Which sort of brings us to the next point.
Yes.
You know, we've been here like, you know, a day and a half, 2 days already. You know, checked in. A bunch of us went to dinner yesterday.
Yes.
Did all the panels today, and it feels already like we've done a huge chunk, but we're just scratching the surface. Because tomorrow, 2 more days,
Yeah. First day of the convention.
headquarters.
Yeah.
and we are
And-
very, very excited about that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go full Effie trinket or not. It's like, hold it, take it in. This is sacred ground. It's okay. You'll get used to the smell. So, you know, it's that thing. So, you know, it's I don't know what to expect, but I'm going to be grateful when I'm there, you know, because I don't know, at the door, I don't know if I'm going to kneel. I don't know if I'm going to kiss the ground. I am uncertain. This is 20 years of anticipation going on.
All of the above.
All of the above, yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's definitely a thing.
I'm sorry, I almost forgot to mention something else.
Yes.
Because on the creativity front,
Yes.
VR chat is a
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
So
Oh my God, yes.
we have members of our community who like to hang out in VR chat. We've got the VR Guild. We've got stations back there, a couple of them, and engaging in the whole VR thing. Go check it out if you can, because it's really cool. And in VR chat in particular, there's a handful of folks who have been porting Uru Ages into VR chat. Let me tell you, seeing the neighborhood, seeing the Bevan layout neighborhood in VR, it is magical. Seeing Relto in VR, I set it as my home in VR chat. So I log into VR chat and I'm logging into Uru. Yeah, it's honestly, it's incredible. So if you have any interest in VR at all, highly recommend going to the back there, checking out the VR stuff. The VR Guild folks doing really cool stuff.
Doing really, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't remember all the names, but yeah. So they're doing some cool stuff, and then there's another station back there also doing really cool stuff.
Yeah. And we really appreciate the creativity in this community. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
So, trip to Cyan tomorrow. What are we the most looking forward to? What are we excited about? Oh, God. We've heard stories. Dalken's been. The rest of the three of us have not been. So, what are we?
I'm
on your
excited to
radar?
see you guys being excited.
Yes.
I've got this hardcover book that some of you may have read before, Book of Atris. I only realized just the other day that it's a first edition, and that kind of blew my own mind. But now I have the opportunity to have it signed by the man himself. I don't know what to do with that information yet. I'm still processing this. So
I think you should get it signed.
probably I'll bring it. You know what? I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Thursday night. Well, no, Wednesday in the middle of the night. I remembered I almost forgot my Myst reader. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm the tricycle version. I only have the Myst reader, so that went into my bag. So yes, I'm taking it with me tomorrow.
It's a threefer.
That's true. That's true. I have page numbers memorized, but anyway, that's beside the point. Morris, I'm sorry.
No. I do have the paperbacks of the old Myst books, Book of Atris, Book of Cyan, Book of Dunny. And I for a second was like, should I bring these? Should I bring these? And then I was like, I'm already stressed enough packing. Let's just put the clothes in there and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe that next edition. Who knows?
Yeah. I forgot to bring Charlie, unfortunately, with all the rigmarole with the airline stuff. Charlie, for those of you who don't know, who's my pet cone, is about this big, adorable, liberated, rescued.
Rescue.
Rescue cone.
So, yes, my adopted pet cone, Charlie.
Story time.
No.
No, that's it. That's the whole story.
No.
You're not going to tell us a story about how you definitely stole a cone from...
No.
I'm
Montreal
teasing.
Mini
I'm teasing.
Mysterium Meet 2004. RR Kaz and Dusanti in the middle of traffic in Montreal go out into the middle of the road to rescue a stranded cone. They literally pulled it from the jaws of death to the side of the road where it would be safe. I was like, these people have a little bit of cone madness going on. Because think about everything we've done with a cone. It's a hat. It's cone henge. It's, how many different
A
people
dancing
get
platform.
coned?
Yeah, you can surf on it.
Yeah. Yes, you can. Cone balancing.
Back in the old physics engine when it didn't, it was just sort of triangular on top. and
Man,
you
I
sort of
miss
go
the Python
like that
engine.
to stay
Man.
balanced.
We had fun with that.
The old, before the switch over.
We had
yeah,
the
yeah.
dunny games with that engine.
Cone
That doesn't mean to work. Anyway, just keep swimming. Anyway, so yeah.
How are we doing on that?
So,
We're pretty good on time.
Yeah. sorry, we're checking our time. We're synchronizing our watches because we're on a schedule.
Yes, we're just trying to be polite, trying to make sure we're doing good on time. Yeah.
Yes.
Trying to not make it any harder on our wonderful
That's right,
Mysterium
exactly.
Exactly.
Tomorrow, what I'm really excited about seeing is I know that it's Cyan HQ. Just from the pictures I've seen, they have sort of all the replicas of a lot of the props. I'm sure even just in the lobby, I know there's like the Riven Dagger, right? People
Yes.
said. So
Show outfit.
I'm really excited to see. In addition to the fantastic team who is behind all these wonderful games and being able to actually meet them, I want to see the props and stuff. It's cool. It feels like sacred. It feels like sacred ground. It feels like a museum.
I don't want to see too much because honestly, going in without knowing too much makes it that much more magical.
Yes.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Just for as long as we remember rule number 1, right?
Touch
Don't
everything?
No.
No. Okay.
No, don't touch.
Keep your hands in your pockets.
Yes. No, of course we'll be polite. Yes.
Keep your arms and hands inside the vehicle at all times.
No.
Make sure you collect your belongings on your way out. It's a thing. Sorry, I worked at Disney, so it's something you memorize from birth. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think now is probably a good time for us to
Yes.
open it up to the floor for some questions if anybody
Do you have any
has some. I
questions?
know
Yeah, sounds like a
for
good
the-
idea.
there
Okay, we are
some-
not game developers, so don't ask us any questions about how games work.
Some of it we
We did our live one.
Maybe.
Yeah, we did the live show in the auditorium in our neighborhood, and everybody's like, well, what's about this game? What about this game? And I was like, where's Doobs when you need him? It was a moment. So I was like, okay, Doobs, we might have to make you part of the staff, man. We might need you for that.
Honorary TCT.
Exactly. Yeah. Be our guy, because, Janathus says he needs to do his ye old tech segment
that's
again.
a great idea.
So there you go.
Bring back TCT Tech.
Oh, yes,
right,
TCT Tech. That
There
is
we
it.
go.
Did we have
Anyway.
another mic for questions, or did you guys
Oh,
need
yeah.
one of these? Okay. All right.
Okay. So anyway,
So do we have any questions in our live audience here?
no, podcasting's easy. Get Audacity, get your friends, get Discord, and figure out some bullet points, and then just hang out, and it's family time. It is enjoy
Hi
what
there.
you're doing, how you're doing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
What's up?
No, I
It was
just...
just a logistics thing.
Oh, it's a logistics thing. Okay.
I know there was one in the Discord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's not really directly for us, but if somebody doesn't know the answer to the question, we'll go ahead and take it. Why not? It was in our chat. For
Yes.
Whatever it is. For the organizers or anybody who knows, when was Mysterium first recorded to video and uploaded later to the internet? What was the first live stream? They add the note, I bet younglings don't appreciate what a modern miracle this tech is for remote fans.
Hey, we started out with forums, man.
So
It was forum. Video wasn't a thing.
does anybody here want to take that one? I don't know.
Okay. Yes, Harley. Harley, tell us. Story time.
Well, I don't know about the full-on, streaming, but I know at least as far back as 2009, we had the Cyan chat live video stream, so there was kind of a little bit of streaming stuff going on then. I don't... Oh, am I staying in front of the camera? I'm staying in front of the camera. Sorry. I don't really think that we had the full-on live streaming until I want to say at least within the last 10 years. So, but I couldn't put an exact date to it. My memory's not that great.
You know what? It's really funny because now we
Thank
live
you.
in such an age where it's everything's on a stream, everything is just instantaneous. But back in the day, I remember the days of the Borrow War. Do you guys remember in Cavern the Borrow War? Everybody,
Yeah.
everything's all right. Borrow pelts are not an accessory. That's just just sharper. No.
Oh,
anyway,
well,
but.
crap.
But somebody should have streamed that. I would have loved to seen Moiti Jean. I'm sorry, she's my favorite cosplayer in the community. Moiti Jean, she's everything. Anyway, but I would have loved to seen that on a stream live and had all that fun. I mean, when we did the Dunny Games, it's like, hey, yeah, people had to take pictures because you couldn't fit that many people into an auditorium. So it's one of those things that's, streaming Uru now should be a thing. Like people stream World of Warcraft or whatever game you play.
There are some people
Yeah.
who do stream on Twitch, Uro.
Yeah.
You see that tag coming up every so often.
Yes,
yeah.
but we need more.
The numbers are definitely growing. We've definitely
true.
seeded interest. There's a lot of people who didn't know Uru was still going on.
Hey,
Yes.
I mean, we've
So-
done one, maybe another soon.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
man, some of the latest stages I'm just in love with. What was the one that we did that we talked about on the live show in Cavern?
Colony.
We just did it.
Was it Semjay's?
Yes.
I think Calamy. Yeah,
Calamy, that's it.
Fantastic work on.
I'm sorry,
Calamy
it's
by
so
Semjay,
new.
yeah.
I haven't memorized it yet. I can say all the ages, on the original alpha, in my sleep. But I'm sorry, Calamy and Sanjay. Thank you for making it. Because it was
really fun.
unforgettable. And we got to do this. We got to stream it in Discord, all of us together. And I was just like, why wasn't this like this in 2003?
It was
know?
pretty spectacular, honestly. Very different from the experience back in the day.
Nice.
And
20
at the
years
same
with the
time,
technology.
very, very much the same.
Yes. Because it was, where's the clue? Where's the clue? Oh, I see where the clue is. And then, of course, I
Wait,
had
is
to go
that
take a
actually
swim.
the clue? Hang on.
Uru is.
Yeah, okay.
You can play most Uru single player, but have another person with you. There's just a certain spark of. It reminds me of playing Exile, my my mom and dad's computer as a little kid, and they're like 4 of us crowded around trying to figure out, where's that bucket go? Pull the bucket up. No, like the bucket, like just trying, like just crowding around. And when you play Ur with a couple other people, it's an experience you don't get doing it on your own. I know Myst is usually solitary experience, and there is validity to that, but it's fun. There's an extra layer of fun that you get.
Isn't Myst a single-player experience? The answer is it doesn't have to be.
No.
Exactly, yeah.
It should be. You should be able to take a friend along because it's something you have to share. I was on the airplane next to the nice lady next door to me, her name was Kim. And so she's like, where are you heading? And I said, I'm going to Mysterium. I'm so excited. I waited 20 years. And she goes, what's that? And I'm like, how do you not know that? But of course, I'm an avid. And so I start talking about it. And when you start talking about Myst to your friends, they start giving you that look. And you're like, and she looks at me dead in the face and goes, is it a cult?
Maybe.
And I said, no, not really. But if you play it, it will change your life forever. And it was so funny because she says, still sounds like a cult.
The thing is,
Yes.
cults are more organized. Cults have leaders.
Yes, it's true. We just have this very wide and broad community around the world, across the ages, man. That means a lot. And so, but she's still, and so I said, go to Cyan.com. You can see it all right there. And she goes, oh, that looks really great. And I had the pictures, of course, you can download. And so they're on my phone. I'm like, here, this is what Myst looks like. It's the newest version. And look, you can have it on your iPhone. And she was like, oh, that's cool. And she goes, are you sure it's not a cult? I'm like, still. I was like, no, but it will change your life forever. Just be open to the idea of learning your virtues. Learn how to be without pride, learn how to be selfless. That was the biggest lesson I learned, being selfless. Live a life of humble service. That's what Jenna taught me. But, it's one of those things. And she was kind of suspicious.
You can't, when the people see excitement, they can't not be. Just one last time, does anybody have any questions? And if anybody has any question or comments, just go ahead and shoot your hand up, we'll come and
We'll run
rush
to
over.
you.
Right back
We
there.
got one back there.
Okay.
I have to ask, did you respond to the lady convinced it was a cult with the words, praise Gan?
No, I didn't. I said, you just have to try it for yourself. And then, just join the community and you'll find out what it means. Yeah, exactly. It's like, thank the maker for the books. Anyway, so yes. But anything else? Anybody else have any questions?
Comments, anything.
We've been doing this for close on to how long now? 15 years?
2005.
My first cast was 21, so it's a Donitos kind of thing. We did the Donitos ad. Sorry, I think it should be cool cleft flavored Donitos. It's still, what is it on the bag?
It's Cleft Ranch.
It's Cleft
Cleft
Ranch,
Ranch
and I'm like,
Donitos.
Cleft Ranch Donitos? No, I'm like, cool Cleft Donitos. It needs to have a name change. They say don't mess with the branding. I'm saying mess with the branding. So yes, and I still want to make a shirt that is the cool Cleft flavored Donitos.
I did as a bit. I put pictures of this up somewhere, but I was messing around with some of the textures, and I was like, that bag is actually riffing on a Doritos logo that has not been used since like 1998. So if that's the bag that Zandy's got,
That's
it's
some
an
stale
old-
Donitos.
Oh man, you're gonna get food poisoning off those bad
Talk about the
boys.
quality of his steak.
Yeah.
It's the quality of his chips.
Yeah.
Yes, but Doss would still tell you it's a dry heat.
dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
Well, I
As
kept
a-
some in the storeroom when we were set up in the cleft for a little while,
Yes.
but I don't know where those went. I think Janathus ate them, maybe.
Janathus took a chainsaw to the Donitos machine.
That's right.
We have to get a new Donitos machine. We're putting up a collection. Yes. Sorry,
I always
if
miss
you don't
these
know,
things somehow.
back in the day, we did an ad for Donitos, and it was me and Janathus, and I was sitting in Gira, and I had my feet in the water, And I said, after a long day of exploring, there's nothing like dipping your feet in the cool pools of Gira and munching on a bag of Cool Clef flavored Donitos. And he says, where'd you get them? And I said, well, I stole this bag from Zandy's trailer, and they're pretty good. And so, yes, we had flavors. We had shroom, spore, lava pepper. Yep. And so, so the Donitos have been a thing now for close on to 15 years. And so the Donitos, it's a thing, because there are some times where you see Donitos dust, and Janathus has been there. When we were trying to get Jeff's piano into our office in the cleft. Oh, yeah, he remembers. That's right. We were trying to push the thing across trying to get it across the bridge. Janathus is in the window with the bag of Donitos. He's munching on them. We're getting mangled. He gets his hand stuck in the whole thing goes bong. Oh, that's and right. He gets his hand caught in there, and then the whole bridge goes. And then we're down there and this piano, and there's Jeff, and rest in peace, Mr. Jeff Wise. We miss you. Anyway, but Jeff's
or rest in peace in the case of the piano.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, so he's down there. He's like, oh, my piano. Janathus hands him a harmonica. And it's just oh, man. So definitely, if you get a chance, there are some really great old skits. And believe me, Donitos dust is there. That's right. And so, there's a lot of references to the Donitos bag. So, and we just passed it going into the cleft. It was Zandy's. No, it's ours.
I will say from a production standpoint, editing those skits, and the reason why we're definitely coming back to them, they are such a joy to edit because it's all the creativity of the team coming together at once.
Yes.
You got the people who are writing it, who write the skits, put it together. From a sound editing perspective, actually trying to yes, this is a joke, but want to make it sound like this person's in the room. So editing the reverb just right, make sure the music is at the right level, and getting the audio in from everybody. It's truly everybody's talent coming together, and it's sort of why it's one of my favorite things.
Just to bring up something that wasn't covered in a skit, however, it's very, very worth mentioning. These shirts that we're wearing, we finally got them after waiting since, what was that, December? I think that the original shipment was supposed to arrive, and somehow that's wound up somewhere else in the cavern.
Not my fault, okay? Listen, I gave them the address. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. By the way, if you'd like a shirt like this for your avatar in Uru, you may or may not be able to find them in the New Messengers pub, so keep an eye open.
Yes, New Messengers pub, and we would love it if you would have one.
And I think that's it for us for time, so I think we're going to go ahead and sign off now.
Yeah.
So for the Cavern Today, this has been Maurus,
Esto,
Sherry,
and Dalken Starbyne, signing off.
Thank you.
Thank you for hanging out with us.